welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And the regular season here in England has just finished, and what a cracking end to the season it was. We've had trophies won over in Italy and in Spain, but we will crack on with the WSL news. Now, it was decision day. In some of the games they had to decide the title, the golden boot, the golden glove, and relegation had to be determined in some of these games. So we'll start off with the day's league leaders and then eventual champions. So it is congratulations to Emma Hayes' Chelsea side that ran out 5-0 winners against Reading and became eventual champions for this season, winning back-to-back trophies with Erin Cuthbert, Sam Kerr, Melanie Leopolds and a brace from Fran Kirby to secure the title for the Blues and mean that they can still get the quadruple. Now, second place Man City left it late to get a winner against West Ham United, and it wasn't until the 75th minute that Ellen White, who scored on her birthday, got the breakthrough goal in that game after Man City had two penalties missed earlier on in the game through Sam Lewis and Rose Lavelle after they were both saved by Mackenzie Arnold. A bit of bad news for Manchester City. Heading into that game, Gareth Taylor announced that goalkeeper Ellie Roebuck sustained an injury, and Aoife Mannion as well. No timeline on when Mannion will be back, but it shouldn't be anything too serious, whilst Roebuck is set to miss a long period of time and hopefully should be back by the time Team GB head over to Japan for the Olympics. On the West Ham side, they have announced a signing today, that being Monday the 10th of May, and that is that Australian international Tamika Yallop will join the club in the summer and will wear the number 13 jersey. Right, elsewhere in the WSL this weekend, Arsenal played out a 0-0 draw with Aston Villa, a game that didn't mean anything to Arsenal as they had already secured Champions League football, but the result meant Villa survived for a season. A bit of news coming out of both clubs today. You may have seen on a previous video that Arsenal have announced the departure of Jill Roord. The 24-year-old Dutch international has rejoined the Bundesliga and this time joined VfL Wolfsburg on a deal until 2024. Now, her replacement is set to be Aston Villa's Mana Iwabuchi, according to the Times Sport, and that deal is set to be concluded very soon. Elsewhere with Aston Villa, they announced that interim head coach Marcus Binyo's time at the club has come to an end and that he has officially left, and the club have also announced that Gemma Davies and Jenny Sugarman have also left the club as well after this season has been completed. So I'd say Sugarman and Davies were a bit of a surprise by many in the media, but everyone knew Marcus Binyo will be going, and there was obviously with the Jill Roord situation, there was the news last week, as we mentioned in our video, that Wolfsburg wanted to sign it, and they have managed to get that done. So it'll be interesting to see if Mana Iwabuchi does get completed soon for the Gunners and how well she can play with the likes of Miedemar, Evans, Mead, Caitlin Ford next season. Elsewhere, Brighton and Hove Albion relegated Bristol City by beating them 3-1 with Anessa Cargman, Lee Grim-Min and Maya Letizia scoring the goals for the Seagulls to end a good season for them, whilst Abby Harrison scored a consolation goal for Bristol City, but obviously it wasn't enough. So Brighton finished the season in 6th in the top half of the table, whilst Bristol City finished rock bottom, 2 points behind Birmingham City, who themselves lost this week, losing 1-0 to Tottenham. And again, with very little in it, Kit Graham scored the only goal 19 minutes from time. But the big news from that game was Birmingham City only had one substitute available, that being Sophie Whitehouse, the backup keeper, and manager Carla Ward said that both Sophie Whitehouse and current keeper Hannah Hampton both had outfield jerseys available should they have been needed in that game. And then the final game that took place saw Manchester United play Everton, and it was Casey Stoney's side that ran out 2-0 winners with goals from Kirsty Hansen and Ella Toon. Right, over in Spain, and it's congratulations to Barcelona, who have won the Primera Iberdrola this season after a perfect season, winning all 26 games, scoring 128 goals, conceding just 5 times to reach the champion status as they prepare to take on Chelsea in the Champions League later on this week. Elsewhere, they did beat Granadilla Tenerife 1-0 with the goal coming from Bruno Villamala Costa in the only goal of the game. Elsewhere, Real Betis and Eibar played out a 0-0 draw. Real Madrid beat Rayo Vallecano 3-0. Sevilla beat Deportivo 3-1. Valencia beat Santa Teresa 1-0. Atletico Madrid won the Madrid derby thanks to a late goal from Ludmila da Silva to put them now 2 points behind Madrid CFF, having played 2 games less. Elsewhere in Spain this weekend, Sporting Huelva beat Logroño 3-1, Espanyol and Levante played out a 1-1 draw, and Athletic Bilbao beat Sociedad 2-1. Over in Germany this past weekend on Friday, it was Hoffenheim playing Sand in a game that finished 0-0. Wolfsburg and Bayern Munich in the clash at the top of the table finished 1-1, with Bayern Munich scoring the first goal in the first half thanks to Sidney Lohmann, and 9 minutes from time Ewa Puyol equalised for Wolfsburg to make the gap at the top still 2 points between the two sides. Werder Bremen beat Duisburg 2-1. Freiburg beat SGS Essen 3-1, and Leverkusen and Meppen played out a 2-2 draw, and the only other game that was meant to take place was Frankfurt this week. However, that game got postponed due to a positive in the Frankfurt camp, so obviously against Tabina Potsdam, and obviously we wish the player a full and speedy recovery. Elsewhere, we have had games over in Italy as well, and it's also congratulations to Juventus, who have won the title after beating Napoli 2-0 on Saturday, with Cristina Ghiarelli and Barbara Bonata scoring both of the goals for Juventus. Elsewhere, Empoli played Hellas Verona and won 2-1. Sassuolo beat Bari 1-0. Fiorentina beat Milan 3-1. Fiorentina and Roma played out a 1-1 draw, and Inter Milan beat San Marino 5-2. So again, Juventus unbeaten this season, however not as big goal difference wise like Barcelona. They scored the 69 goals and conceded 10, and a reminder that Bari are bottom of the division there. Over in France this past week, so obviously we said on our show that it was the Paris derby during last week's show at the time of recording, and the PSG won that 3-2. And then the games that took place over the weekend, Soyo Charente beat Fleury 91 1-0. Bordeaux beat Montpellier by the same scoreline. Guingamp and Stade Reims played out a 0-0 draw. PSG beat Le Havre 2-0. Paris FC got back to winning ways and beat Dijon 1-0. And Lyon beat Issy FF 4-0, with Amel Majri, Katerina Macario scoring a brace, and Eugene Le Sommer with both the goals. A reminder that PSG lead the division by 1 point over Lyon. And finally, over in the Netherlands with the Eredivisie, again, reminder that we're in the playoff section for the Eredivisie games. Heerenveen beat VV Alkmaar 2-1. Excelsior Barendrecht and Zwolle played out a 1-1 draw. FC Twente beat Ajax 2-1, with Fenna Kalmar and Annalena Stoll scoring for Twente, while Ashley Bakker scored for Ajax. And PSV beat Den Haag 2-0, with Joel Smith scoring both goals. So in terms of the championship, those going for the 4 teams going for the championship in the Netherlands, FC Twente lead PSV by 1 point, and then there's a gap between themselves and Ajax, and then Den Haag are at the bottom. And then at the 4 teams for the relegation playoffs, Heerenveen at the second, Zwolle at top, VV Alkmaar third, and Excelsior Barendrecht are bottom. So that is all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football this past week. Again, if we missed anything else, we will try and catch you up next week. A reminder that we will be previewing the Champions League final that comes up later on this week. There's also games elsewhere in Europe, and it is FA Cup weekend here in England. So make sure you turn on post notifications so you never miss a post. Like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.